respected Principal Ma'am, Ms. Poonamjeet Kaur, our Head Junior Wing, Ms. Sarika Sharma. I welcome both of you, ma'am. I further welcome the teachers who are the pillars of strength of and Sarika ma'am to do the honors. I also would like to invite Ms. Prashanti, mother of Dhanvita, class 4A, for being very punctual. So she's the most punctual parent, and we have joining her is Mr. Akash and Ms. Vandana, parents of Bhavanya 4C. So please join for the lamp lighting ceremony. The lamp lighting ceremony is the apt star of the day. So as lighting of a lamp removes darkness, ignorance, unhappiness, spreading the Almighty's grace and divine energy in the surrounding, light also symbolizes abundance, prosperity, and knowledge. There are apprehensions as we begin the new session. There is going to be a change. New beginnings, of course, bring the change, right? But we should not fear the change. It's bound to happen, right? So I quote here, life brings many seasons. Change happens for a reason. A season ends, a new one begins. Let's not lose our smile or grin. Our future holds wondrous sights, new goals to set, to reach new heights, though it may not sound familiar at the start. Unfamiliar, right? New teacher, which class? But new beginnings give us an opportunity to restart. And I'd also like to mention a quote by Tim Elmore here, that as we begin the new journey in the new session, it's important that we prepare the child for the path and not prepare the path for the child. So with that quote, I'd like to begin my presentation, and before that, I take this opportunity to thank all the parents for being associated with Smart Wonders School, so having trust in us for your child's education and having faith in the institute. So I'd like to introduce you to our esteemed leaders under whose leadership our school is doing really wonders, and I'm sure as parents you'll agree the kind of effort we put in, it's all because of the guidance of our leaders. Our director sir, Mr. Sandeep Singh, and our principal ma'am, Ms. Poonamjeet Kaur. So they are always there to guide and support us. Then we have head of the junior wing, Ms. Sarika Sharma. She is always supportive and as a mentor and a guide, always available for all the staff members of the junior wing. So talking about the vision of the institute, I'm sure you must have gone through it. So we aim at holistic development of our students, and for that, all our curriculum, everything is planned around that, and we try to provide opportunities for parents, teachers and students so that we all come together and help in the growth and development of our students. So similarly, the motto also talks about, confident, competent and caring individuals. So of course we aim at producing, working on the personality of the child so that they are confident in their demeanor, they are competent in the competent work, and of course with a compassionate heart, so that there is an all-round development of the child and they move out as proud citizens of the country. Next slide, ma'am. So here, according to the vision and the motto of our school, is a curriculum that's designed for the primary years, wherein we believe in nurturing young minds so that they are inquisitive in their approach, they get a chance to explore, be creative, and of course stretch themselves, expand their intellectual capacities. So to achieve all this, we have literacy, numeracy, language skills, IT skills, art, dance, music, sports, all integrated in the curriculum with a well-balanced approach. So while I'm talking about holistic development, so we work on in different areas. So be it language development, as far as communication is concerned, it's a very, very important skill. So language development, comprehension of the children, how to communicate, how to express themselves, and also cognitive development when we talk about having our children, a mind of their own, speaking their mind. So thinkers is what we are aiming at, making the children think logically, reasoning skills, all that, and of course physical development. So we have a number of sports activities, as you must have seen the enrichment activities list also. And I'd like to mention here that from this year we are also going to start the swimming classes. So excited children, I can see smiles, immediate smiles coming on their faces. So we'll have swimming lessons also embedded in the timetable. So of course we are working on the physical development. Further value building, very important, because without values, a learned person without values is of no use. So of course values are embedded in each lesson that a teacher takes in the class. And then we have social emotional development, which is very important because children at the end of the day are going to be social individuals. So they need to make connections, they need to connect with the people around so that they have a fruitful life ahead. So social emotional development is also what we are looking at. So looking at this, you get an idea that overall well-being of the child is our motive. So areas that we focus on, so I'll quickly take you through the list. So be it communication skills, as I mentioned earlier, collaborative skills, critical thinking, so analyzing a situation and coming to a problem solving approach, a solution focused approach is what we are aiming at. And of course we believe in children being creative. So enough opportunities are provided for the students to be creative in their approach. Decision making, again very important. Then we also work on scientific temper. So you might find a project, wherein the child is getting a chance to explore, to find out, to, dig in deeper. So that is just because we want to develop a scientific temper and not give all the answers to the children directly. And we give a chance to them that they get a chance to explore. So working on the IT skills, that is also, as you must have seen, children are doing hands-on practice on the computer so that they develop the IT skills as per their age requirement. Then of course, when I talked about social development, emotional development, it has also to do with intra-personal skills, that is managing your own emotions, your own self before you connect with others. So all these skills are kept in mind. And lastly, I think values and habits, very important. School life is all about discipline and following a regime, so that is what we work at. So instructional model in primary years, so as you are already aware, you are a part of the primary years, so we have the lessons are planned so that they are engaging, children are engaged fruitfully, with an outcome in the mind. So lessons are not just the teacher goes and talks about a topic and comes out. So they are very well planned so that the child is engaged fruitfully, keeping the outcome in mind. So that also they get a chance to explore, to find answers. Then after all this, they are given a chance to explain and elaborate on what happened, why it happened, why this approach was taken, and of course evaluation in the end. Assessments, as you are aware that we have continuous assessments, so we'll talk about it in a while. So methodologies that we follow, so poetry recitations, we conducting experiments in class, role plays, games, virtual tour, trips. Now we'll of course have field trips also, and art and craft competitions, of course interviewing, surveys, all these are part of our methodology. And all this is integrated with different subjects so that learning is an all-round thing. So it's not in isolation we are learning math, it has to do with our day-to-day life. And of course we have assemblies and celebrations. So swimming activity, as I just mentioned, so we put up a slide here. We are going to begin this year and we have it till August. So I can see a number of exciting smiles. Yes, till August we have it. So after having said all this, I'm just going to take you through the glimpse of the last year's activities that have happened in school. So morning assemblies, we have assemblies, as you all know. There is a class assembly in which the whole class gets a chance to participate. And assemblies are of course very important because they are the platform for developing confidence and acquiring so many skills as you are preparing for an assembly. So here's a glimpse of the assembly wherein every child gets a chance to come on stage and address the audience. And of course, developing routines. So morning assemblies are a very important part of our curriculum. And creativity in the assemblies. We are amazed to see the creative ideas that children bring in, and of course a lot of effort is put in by the parents, and really appreciate that. So we also have special assemblies for different days. So Bhavanya can point out her picture, I can see that. So this is an Independence Day assembly. This was by 3C. Then celebrations, of course, around the festival. So all festivals are celebrated in school. So this is a part of the assembly. Then class activities. So this was by class 3. Faces have lit up suddenly. So this was a math activity in which the children created a market in the lab, and they put up the prizes. So this is a chance where this is just an example of exploration that they did. They did their homework. They inquired about so many things. They brought so many things, and they also learned not just addition, subtraction, and math, but also learned about different modes of payment. So here you can see a Paytm scanner also there. So much of learning is happening when children are actually getting involved in the class, doing an activity, putting things together. So all skills come under, when they're connecting with others. And so this is a kite flying activity. Then lantern making, of course, one example, but a number of art activities, they happen in school, and children are given the chance to be creative. This is a French class in which the French cuisine activity was done in class 4 last year. So art again is a display of, children are so proud to showcase their creations. So this is an example of digital skills that I just spoke about, IT skills. So these are the projects that are created by the students in the lab, and see how creative our children are. So we have, of course, team building activities when we say social emotional development and intrapersonal skills. So that is at display with these activities. So this was a puppet show which was put up by the teachers for the children just before the exams, to teach them we need to be stress free if we are well planned. So a number of things were spoken about. Time management, how to prepare for exam, and how to remain stress-free. So how to manage yourself when you are in a situation of stress. So we also have inter-house and inter-school competitions from time to time. So I'd just like to mention here that in the timetable we have a house house activity lesson on Fridays, and that is the day when children come in their house t-shirts. So we have inter-house activities planned from time to time, and you will be getting the information through the circulars. So this is an inter-house singing competition held last year, and this is an inter-house declamation competition. So children actually seem to surprise us sometimes. We just give them just a spark, and they ignite so well, and they perform so well. So this is winners of an inter-school dance competition. I think some of them must be here. This is class 3 last year. So we give them opportunity, and they come up with so many creative ways of displaying their talent. Workshops are also conducted for students from time to time to be well aware about their safety. So this is one such example. So good touch, bad touch workshop was conducted by our counselor, school counselor, Mr. V. So that is in progress here. And this is a self-defense workshop that was conducted in school. So we give our children a lot of exposure and opportunities to groom themselves. Of course, as I mentioned, we have so many celebrations being planned in school for the children to be connected with their roots. So we should be aware of our culture and togetherness in celebrating different festivals like this is the Janmashtami celebration. We also have all festivals, be it Diwali, be it Gurpurab, Christmas, or any other major event we celebrate in school together. So that children, bond with their peer and teachers well. And showcasing talent through class shows. So as you're aware, we had class shows last year and each child was on stage and they were really amazing. So just a glimpse for grade 5 we had Punjabi Virsa, wherein children, even while preparation, they learned so much about Punjabi culture. I think everybody got to learn much more than we knew about Punjabi culture, and the show was of course spectacular. So grade 4 put up around the world last year and they researched about different countries around the world. Then dances were prepared, there was a script woven around this theme and the show was amazing. And this you already have witnessed. So joy of giving. And I just would like to mention here that all these shows were in-house, composed by the team of the Smart Wonders and put together beautifully by our children. We also had a sports day this year. In February we have planned this. And of course children got a chance to display their strength, endurance and teamwork. So everything was on display and children had a lot of fun while of course getting exposed to so many new techniques and learning together with their peers. There was so much of fun, winning medals and winning and losing, both the emotions they had to go through, and it was a great learning. So goals for 23-24 as we are beginning the new session. Children moving to class 4 now. So what are the goals? Let's just quickly go through. So this is the calendar for the new session. And this year we have adopted United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, as we call them UN SDGs. So call for protecting the planet. It has been a long discussion, long time, people talk about saving the planet and all, but it's now time, it's an urgent need that we take an action. So these goals have been selected by the school so that we apprise the parent community as well as the children about what these goals means and where are these leading us in protecting the environment, protecting the planet. So I'll take you through a quick video clip so that you get better idea.
Did you know that the UN Sustainable Development Goals are a universal call to action that unites 193 countries around the world? If these global goals are fulfilled by 2030, life on Earth will be better for everyone. So, what are these goals? Eliminate poverty in all its forms. No hunger. Everyone should have safe, nutritious, and sufficient food. Everyone has equal access to healthcare, thus ensuring our well-being and a healthy life. Equal access to a quality education. Ensure gender equality where women and girls have the same opportunities as men and boys. By achieving these goals, each member of our society will be equal, safe, and happy. UN global goals also include access to safe drinking water and sanitation, access to clean energy that is safe for people and the environment, sustainable and stable economic growth. Everyone has a decent job, strong infrastructure, and the support of innovations. Lower inequality within and among countries. Cities and settlements be developed without damaging the environment and people. Achieving these goals will result in the well-being of people and our planet. We can further take care of our environment with the following goals: sustainable and safe production and consumption of products. Take urgent measures to reduce climate change and its impact. Ensure the sustainable use and protection of ocean and sea resources. Restore and protect Earth's ecosystems. By achieving these goals, we will form a society where strong institutions ensure peace and justice. It is important for everyone to be involved and to build partnerships for achieving sustainable development goals. You are part of this process. Demand the implementation of these goals. Take the lead and share information with your friends.
So dear parents, let's take the lead together. So this is the calendar and this is the sample page of the e-calendar that's available on the website. So here I'd just like to mention that please visit the school website. It has the details of all the circulars, monthly notes, newsletter that is being uploaded, and so is a copy of e-calendar. You'll find it there and just download it and keep it easily accessible. So here in the calendar you'll get the details of all the holidays, special days and the activities of the month for your ward. So this session, as you've already filled the enrichment activities, so a long list is there and it has been already shared and chosen by your ward. So we are going to expose our children to a number of activities, be it physical, be it any specific skill. So we are providing opportunities to our children. So I think children are going to be very happy. So you will have enrichment activities on Wednesdays and Thursdays. And Fridays we have house activities planned for the children. And Tuesdays are the PAs. And Monday is the assembly. So I'm just giving you a gist of the timetable. It will be shared with you. So assessments, a very important part of teaching learning. So assessments, as you all are aware, we have continuous assessments happening throughout the year. So periodic assessments are 25 marks. Then we have half yearly and final exams of 60 marks each. However, we keep assessing the children on a regular basis. So we have internal assessments, which are all different projects, class activities, discussions, quizzes, math work, project work, homework assignments, all that put together, and of course notebook. So maintenance of notebook is important. We are still appearing for written exams as per the CBSE, so it is a difficult task, I understand. Yes, so we will have this year one cycle of PA before the half yearlies and one cycle is after the half yearlies, that is before the final exams. Yes, this is a slight change because we don't have two cycles of PAs now. So here I would also like to request that kindly ensure that your ward comes for the PA. I mean, doesn't misses any of the PAs because everything is graded. So as it is shown that the marks are rounded off together. So periodic assessments, internal assessment, notebook work, everything put together. And then we have the half yearly and the final exams. And they all round off to 100 marks. That is the grade that is generated in the report card. And no retests are scheduled for if a child has missed a PA, so kindly do not request for the same because that is not the policy. So please ensure, because it's just 5 PAs now, not that every Tuesday we'll be having, we'll share a date sheet well in advance. So kindly plan your schedule accordingly. We also have remedial classes for the children who require support in a particular subject or area, and or extra supervision is required by the teacher. So these classes start from July and they are conducted on Saturdays. And so it's a request to the parents that if your ward has been and the teacher wants your child to come for a remedial class, do send your child. It's going to be beneficial for the child. So we have a number of active and functional committees in the school. And these committees look after all the areas and the processes of the school. So we don't want to leave any area not being supervised or any compliance by the CBSE left out. So these committees look at each area very stringently. So be it safety and security of your ward, be it arrival dispersal or safe Vahan, that is adherence to the compliance by the CBSE for the transport. Child Abuse Prevention Committee to prevent and to educate the staff of the Smart Wonders about the POXO and the child abuse, what is it and what all needs to be looked at. So all this, the staff is apprised about all the safety measures from time to time by the committee in charges, which are these committees are headed by different heads in different areas in the school. So all the areas, as you can see, and there's an inclusion committee also wherein children with special needs as per CBSE, we need to include them in the mainstream. So this committee looks at that area specifically. So guidelines for the parents for session 23-24. I can still see some parents smiling. Of course, we expect a lot from you, right? So I'll request our head, Junior Wing Ms. Sarika Sharma, to take you through the guidelines.
Thank you, Payal ma'am. So that's halfway through the journey, and since your children have already been in this wing for a year, I think majorly you are aware of the processes and the rules and regulations that we are following. So quickly, without taking you into too much of the detailed part, I will quickly kind of like to mention the major changes that we would have this session and to reiterate a few points. So the school timings stay as such, that's 8 a.m. to 2:50 p.m. The only change is that this year we become a little more stringent on allowing children to come after 8:05 because we want to teach our children to be punctual, and that's one practice we actually did not start off last year because the children were coming after 2 years from COVID. But as we all realize now our children are well settled, so we need to kind of teach our children that time is very important. So 8:05 the gates will be closed. Post that the children will not be allowed to enter the gates. So here I think the cooperation of the parents is utmost because it's in your hands to let your child gain that confidence that he is on time to school. And you can drop him 5 minutes prior maybe because school gates open at 7:50 and our teachers are in by 6:45. So do not, 7:45. So do not kind of drop your child early so that he is not under any kind of, I would say, help from the educators. So we want that our children should be all the time safe. So once the educators are in, then your child is in safe hands. Uniform, without saying, is a very important aspect that the children, so last year again, we were a little giving because we understand that children were getting used to, but I think 1 year now our children are quite confident and they are comfortable. So the school uniform has to be of prime importance. The children should feel pride in wearing their proper uniform. Well kept hair and groomed personality is always a good practice to come to school because that enhances their confidence. On weekends, we can ensure that the nails are cut so it can be a part of the routine. You can encourage your child to rather prepare for Monday. His shoes should be, so this year in the uniform again there is a slight change, so that I will share. The t-shirts have a logo that is just kind of embroidered, it's not pasted. The quality has been enhanced because we had feedback from the parents that the quality of the t-shirts was not appropriate. So that is one upgradation that has been done. Other than that, we have done away with the two kinds of shoes. So the children will only have to wear black sports shoes. So that was again what we felt that the children had when they were going on the grounds. They had that problem. They were wearing leather shoes and so that caused inconvenience. So that's another change. The children will be wearing their black sports shoes at all times. So leave application. So I'm actually going to just kind of reiterate the points that are going to be a little change this year. So leave again, this is something which has to be avoided. We would request children also that do not stay at home when the school is working. So avoid taking leave, and from this year we are going to mark the child absent for the second half if he takes a second half day leave. Because the first half is not the facility that the child can take to stay away from school. But if you as a parent take your ward on the second half leave, he will be marked only present for the first half. So he loses out on his attendance. So try that if the child has to go with you somewhere, and it's important that you take your child, then let him stay away from school for the whole day, because that way you are not only hampering your child's kind of working, it disturbs him in school. The first day, the first period only his mindset is my parents will be coming to take me. So even while he is in the class physically, mentally he seems to be somewhere else. So this is something we would encourage the parents this year to avoid taking second half leave. So the uniform stays, like I said, the t-shirts are going to be quality better, and of course you people will endorse it once you will use it. The black shoes. On Fridays, the children have their house activities, and on that days they wear their track pants and their house t-shirts. So they are already aware of the house colors, so accordingly they wear their house t-shirts and track pants. To reach out to the school in any form, so the communication pathways are open at all times. So if it's emergency, you may contact at the reception, but not the teachers at all, because the mobiles have been withdrawn from the teachers during the school hours. So any message or communication that you send to the class teacher will not have any cognizance. So if you have any other kind of problem that you need to address immediately, call at the school reception. You may also contact, so you can at the reception make a request to talk to the coordinator or to me, but that's the only way. If you want to meet the educator, then it has to be priorly with an appointment on Saturdays. And I would like to mention that ma'am has an open door policy for meeting, and at all times ma'am is available in case you feel that you want your queries to be kind of sorted out at that level. So first we'll try that whatever we can manage, kindly address us, but then ma'am is always more than happy to kind of interact with the parents. Second comes your school almanac, for something that the class teacher should know that can be managed and handled in the classrooms. You may address such things in the school almanac, and of course anything that's kind of official and needs the intervention of the admin, you may mail, and the school email and the official mails are available. Also, you previously must be aware of, but in case, the circular that has gone for the orientation, it carries the details. Read all your messages and circulars sent from the school, and kindly take it, I would say, a little more importantly. So if not seriously, it has to be because it goes that it's for your child. So whatever is planned here in school, it cannot be carried out without you partnering with us. So whether it's preparation for certain celebrations or events or activities in the classrooms, there are certain things which will require your intervention. So circulars are meant for that. And yes, so I've already said that we do not appreciate, and rather because that will cause you only inconvenience. And another thing, when all those children who are availing the bus transport, so there also we feel that as and when, if you make a request to kind of pull out your child from the bus, that causes a lot of inconvenience and the revamping of the entire day's system. So here, if the child has to stay away for a little while and maybe an hour or so that should be avoided. Avoid any kind of second half leave. Ma'am, next slide. The almanac is a very important document which actually, so I would say the school Bible only, because it guides you through how exactly you are supposed to be addressing your child's thing. It also conveys what happened in school in the class, And the first 2 pages that give you a lot of information regarding your personal detail, your God's personal details, it's expected that you fill all the columns. Mostly we fill in the child's details, but when it comes to the father and the mother's work areas and their contact, we find all this missing. So this becomes very difficult for us when the child needs such contact numbers and such details. So it's in the benefit of the child that the complete detail is actually shared in the school almanac. So we already have a practice of sharing a monthly note. It comes to you, gives you an idea what's going to happen through the month. So the same continues, and you will be getting exactly the curriculum, the activities, competitions, celebrations, any detail that the coordinator wants to share for the children of that standard is shared through these monthly notes. We are already aware of these 4 PTNs, but some of you who may have joined us new. So we have 4 formal PTNs, and I think we have a process whereby we share a Google form with all the parents. I think this much effort is important for your child. So sometimes I do get kind of requests that we fill in the same thing again and again. But believe me, when we collect your feedback data and look at the statistics that come out of it, it helps us to move ahead maybe in a better way. Because your feedback tells you that we are right on this track, but we are not on this. And some of the repercussions of your feedbacks you might see, and it might be reflected in the year that is going to follow. So whenever a Google form comes for a PTN, kindly fill it within the stipulated time so that the teachers are not calling you again and again to harass you. So that is not the aim. It's just to get your feedback, which is most precious for us. So you can meet your teachers, WATS teachers on Saturdays. Other than those, we cannot pull them out from the classrooms. So we will not enter in that. But of course, anytime you feel that there's some important thing that you need to share with us, Payal ma'am is there as the coordinator. I'm always there, and principal ma'am, without saying, she's always there to hear whatever you have to say. Birthdays are very important for all of us, yet they carry a message that we all should be celebrating them in the same manner, at least in school. At home, within the confines of your home, it's your choice, whatever way you celebrate. But in school, we want everybody to feel they are the same. So just share 2 candies so that that joy of sharing is there and we celebrate the child's birthday. Another thing that's a change is your ward is not going to be wearing any kind of casual dress and coming. So that can wait till the evening, and so the child has to come in the school uniform on his birthday or her birthday. We have a very, I would say, proactive infirmary which is quite actively catering to the first aid needs of the children in school. So whenever we find that a child who needs, who's uncomfortable in the class and needs certain kind of medical intervention, immediately, that's just the first aid. We have a nurse in the infirmary. The class teacher sends the child, ensures that the child goes to the infirmary, and in case there is something that needs to be looked into immediately, the parents are given a call. So here your contact numbers come into play when we have to reach to you, and so most of the times kindly give at least one contact number which is going to be available at all times. Sometimes we have a switched off or not answering calls, which becomes a little, I would say, grey situation for us. So at least out of the 2, one number can be active at all times. Another thing, do not send any medicine with your child, that you can take it during the day if you feel like this or whatever. So there have been instructions from parents at times that अगर तुम्हें ठीक नहीं लगेगा तो ये खा लेना. But we know that as a class teacher, if the teacher is not aware in the class, if any sort of side effect or this, we would want to avoid that. But if it's important that your child have certain kind of medicine, with the written consent, you must send it so that it's well verified in time that your child needs that, and maybe you can contact the coordinator also to kind of cross check. So in case, so medications we are not providing in school for any case, it's just maybe a wound, first aid is given. But other than that, we do not give any medications. So that is why it is very important that whenever we give you a call, if the child is not feeling okay, for example a fever or whatever, in that case you need to come and pick your child so that you can get in the right medical help. Again, we want our students to remain, confined in their student life as focused as can be. So certain distractors like jewelry, your, watches, fancy stationery, water bottles, some kinds of. So anything that is a show off, we would like to request not to, because children are still learning, and here we don't want. So we want each one of them to be feeling that we are all the same. So when we talk of SDGs, equality plays a major role, whether it's the gender, whether it's the kind of facilities and amenities that we have. So avoid sending your children with all these things. Of course, losing them and all that stuff is a secondary matter. So one simple rule when you give food in the tiffins, if it came from a plant, eat it. So I think that rule can go for all of us, that if it comes directly from a plant, we'll have it, but if it's made in a plant, that's not good for us. So the children need to understand that, and already I think children are in the habit of having some fruits in their tiffins. They do lots of activities, germination, eating sprouts in the class and all that. So we would like to encourage, because with the peer, they are usually wanting to have that. So that competitive spirit that I am going to eat, I brought this fruit or whatever. Again, packaged foods, we need to educate our children only that it's not good, because we already have faced a lot of consequences of being in a kind of the era where we had to face a lot. And I'm sure everybody is working towards building their immunities, but our children need it the most. So it's very important that they eat healthy, and the choice of food is quite well thought of. Once in a while we give them the choice. So on Fridays maybe a little leverage can be there, because Saturday, Sunday you can take up those tasks. So this is another, I think, the children will vouch for it. This is something again a big change. We were looking, so school cafeteria is opening in the school. So although we do encourage that eat homemade food, at the same time we will be providing a similar kind of substitute in school, whereby we ensure that whatever is provided is healthy, and at times when it's not easy for you to kind of pack up a tiffin, or it's working as an incentive, you may send a coupon which mentions what is to be bought for the child, and that will be provided to your child in the class. So here the coupons will be shared with you shortly, and we'll share the menu and the details with you. iCards are very important for students. They give us a lot of information, easy access to their personal details whenever it's required. So it's important that they wear it every day, and we do keep telling them. So it's important that children wear their iCards, and it's important that parents carry their iCards, because that shows, and this goes especially for those parents who come and collect their words from school, because it becomes easy for the teacher to locate that I have actually handed over my child to the parent. So smart children, of course smart school, but smart and smarter children. They're smarter than us. The access to the internet has also got its negative aspect. We need to see whatever we are giving them access to, whatever our children are surfing is very, very well monitored, and I would say sorted for, because there are certain contents which are not age appropriate, and we don't want our children to get into all these malpractices. So your children need your presence more than your presence. And if I put it the other way, your children need you to be present and not your present. So if you are present with them, you talk with them, you sit with them, you have interactions that would work, and that would give a lot of positive reinforcement. Parents are the ultimate role models, so we cannot be dubious in our personalities. We need to be the same what we expect from our children. We have a YouTube channel where we share all the recorded events of the school. So if you need to be a part of this in the convenience, you may just kindly log in and watch what all is happening in the school from time to time. Kindly like, share and follow our social media pages, and whenever there is something where you need to give us that positive reinforcement, which we keep asking you in the form of your Google reviews. I think it just takes a minute, but your 1 minute serves us as a platform to work for hours to come. So, as the child is worth our efforts, I seek your cooperation and look forward to a very exciting and learning academic year this year. Before I invite our principal ma'am to address our August gathering, I will like to introduce you to the team who is going to take your children through this academic year, and I will invite the class teacher of 4A, Miss Pooja. 4B, Miss Pallavi, and 4C, Miss Sangeeta. Our Punjabi educator, Miss Supinder. Our IT educator, Miss Apeksha. And this is just to inform you that they have a large team of activity educators who are presently not there with us because there's an induction program for the juniors which is going on, and they're fulfilling their duties that side. And I'm sure you all have been introduced to them through the year, last year. And to support and guide, we have their mentor, Miss Payal Bedi. She is the coordinator of the camp here. I think by now you're quite familiar with her. So that's a wonderful team. That's the backbone that we have, who are always there to strengthen our efforts and help us out in our endeavors. Thank you, ma'am. So as they say, we move on, but who tells us what's the right direction? So I think the one who guides us to lead on the right path through all virtues and values, our mentor and guide, our principal, Mrs. Poonamjeet Kaur. I request her to kindly address the parents.
Good morning, dear parents.
Good morning.
I can see them all spread out all over, yes? Okay, so thank you so much for taking out the time to be with us and being a part of this orientation. Of course, you all are, most of you, I'm sure, are our old parents. Are there any new parents here? Any new parents? all old parents. And I think we've gone through a very exhaustive presentation already. I'm sure that you have already witnessed most of it, and there are a few changes which are going to be there this year. So we are celebrating, finally COVID is over. Yes? We put it behind us. We are going to be jumping into the pool also. We are opening a cafe also. Yes? So yay mothers. Mothers are happy? Yay! And children are happy? Yes, yes. So all this, of course, within reason. Yes. So the cafe is there. We will ensure that the food is very good quality and nutritious. Of course, it is your decision how many times do you need it or your child wants to have from there. Because there are mothers who might be working on a particular day, they might not have the time to pack a nutritious tiffin, and we want our children to eat something. And of course, there might be sometimes when we just want to take a break, and that's it. So it's okay. So we need to learn to be more loving to ourselves also, and spend that much of time maybe talking to our child. That's even more worthwhile. So don't worry with the quality, it's going to be good. And again, this is something that we had before COVID. The only reason is because of COVID, we had shut it down. And now that we are back with a bang, it's back. So the children are going to have enough to do. The enrichment activities are starting again. Yes? And of course, like as ma'am has explained, so we do have a very, very balanced curriculum and a timetable catering for the co-curricular, for the curricular and extracurricular. So for that extracurricular activities, we have the 0 periods, right? Because we have the enrichment activities. Now let me tell you that 90% of the enrichment activities are going to be conducted by professionals who come from outside. All our activity teachers will take their own activities. However, we have professionals who come from outside who take these activities with our children, and each child gets the opportunity to take 2 activities. So, and obviously that is something that they enjoy doing, that's why you would have chosen, or they want to learn. So that's an advantage that you have. So when parents say that our child is going to come late, how will my child go here or there? So we are starting our enrichment activities again so that the child does everything while in school. Learning the concepts, learning the studies, so academics plus co-curricular, which is part of the timetable. So music, dance, art, craft, sports is all part of the timetable. Over and above that, we have the enrichment activities, we have the PAs for assessment, we have the house activities, and we have the assemblies. So you do not have to do anything at home besides sitting with the child in the evening, maybe a regular time, to help them with their home assignments, right? So you just have to supervise. Don't do it, supervise. And in case the child is not able to do it, that's your cue to send a note in the diary saying that it seems that my child has not understood this concept. Right? If the child is not able to do the homework, because the homework is never about a new concept. It's never about something that's not being taught. Yes, so homework is, home assignment is revision of something that has been done. So that is why it is important for you to connect with the class teacher, with the subject teacher through the diary and write that the child has not understood this, so that the teacher gets an idea that maybe I have to redo this with this child. However, if it is for maximum class, that means it has to be revisited for the whole class. So that is the feedback that we need. We don't wait till the half yearlies, we don't wait till the finals to say that X, Y, Z topics were not done properly or my child did not understand, because we can't waste that much of time. So it needs to be informed on a timely basis, and like ma'am said, please do not send messages or calls to the teacher anymore, because they are in the classrooms and they are not supposed to carry their phones into the classrooms, and they will not be able to see your message until way late in the evening when they are home. By then, that message might not be relevant. So please connect with us at the reception, and they will connect you to the coordinator, to the head, or to me. Otherwise, you can always send a little email to the school, because again, like ma'am said, there's a very stringent process of the email. No email that comes to the school does not come on my table. Every single email comes on my table within 24 to 48 hours. Right? So please make sure that you send an email if you have any suggestions, requests, problems. Right? Or of course call. So that is another way. Or come and visit. So that is another thing that is very important. Face-to-face meeting, discussing is always good. We understand what you need and we are able to cater for that. Right? And of course, I think we need to trust the children. Let them do what they need to do. And most important is, they are all different. So let them be what they are. Do not compare. Do not have these informal groups where there might be comparison, because what I might feel a problem, another person might not feel, but we might impose our thoughts on that person. So please connect with the people concerned. So if you have a problem in say 4B regarding say Hindi, so speak to the 4B teacher who can speak to the Hindi teacher, or speak to Payal ma'am so that she can speak to the Hindi teacher. Ma'am, no offense. So I know there will be no problem in Hindi, but I'm just saying. So it's just an example. So please connect with the concerned person so that the problem can be resolved. Rather than asking or talking about it and the people who can actually solve it being the last people to know. So children need to be very proactive. Dear children, can you hear me? All the children, raise your hands. Yes, so are you going to be proactive in your learning? What does proactive means? That you will be involved. You will do what you need to do. Not mama, papa. Mama, papa, they are only to support you. Okay? So what you need, you will tell your parents, and they will then connect with the teachers. So let the children be proactive, and you need to support. Right? But again, support has to be positive. Support has to be constructive. That is what is important for the children to be confident and competent and caring. We don't want negativity. We don't want pulling down any child. We don't want comparisons. Because all of you sitting here, all the adults, if you just turn around and look at each other, there are no people similar. I'm sure that we are not similar looking. Our behavior is not similar. Our qualifications are not similar. Our competencies are not similar. How do we expect children to achieve similar results? Not fair. So as adults, I think we really need to understand this and let the children be the best versions of themselves. You and us, the school together, have to make sure that your children are able to get what they need to be the best versions of themselves. That is what the whole idea is. We don't need anything more than that. Yes? So the academics, the concepts, the co-curricular, that will be handled by the school. So I hope we all have a very, very successful session. We're all looking forward to it. We've been gearing towards it. The teachers have been working very hard. Believe me, 18th was the last PTM, 19th was a Sunday. Since Monday we've been at it. From morning till almost 4 o'clock, preparing for the next session. Revisiting our own learning, relearning, putting the processes in place so that when the children come on the 5th, we are ready for them. Well prepared, well planned. So thank you teachers for all the hard work that you put in. Thank you Sarika ma'am, thank you Payal ma'am. All the teachers who've been working day in, day out. And of course the admin, so we can see the transport, we can see Gagan sir and Bharat sir sitting there. So all of us are there to ensure that minimum problems happen. So that processes are put in place. We have Sumit sir, we have Gurinder sir, we have sirs here who are here to support, right? Every person has been working, so we don't have holidays because the new session is starting from the 5th. So that is why, and there are so many new things that are being brought in. So of course, I will request all the parents to be kind because things take a little while to get into the routine. So the first week, the second week, I would request all of you to be more considerate, to understand if things are not going exactly to plan, because there are some times when something might happen which was not planned, but again, please connect with the right people. We try to ensure that things are put back into place. And all the best children, all the best parents. I think we are looking forward to this new session because there is so much to catch up on. And we have to have that faith that this is, the next step before we move on for the next session when we will be having our children in the senior most class of the junior wing, that is class 5th. So they are going to be our seniors by then. So this year, class 4th is right in the middle of the primary years. It's a very important year. A lot of concepts are going to be taught to the children. So like ma'am said, avoid taking leaves. Let's be very, very diligent in sending the children to school. Ensure that they're on time. We would like that, because otherwise we spend a lot of time on administrative hassles of getting the child who's coming late into the class, which disturbs all those children who've already started. So we need to ensure that we get the children to become habitual of reaching school on time. So thank you so much parents, thank you teachers, thank you ma'am, thank you everyone.
Thank you, ma'am, and thank you, parents. So you can visit the classrooms for depositing the stationery, and the classes of 4A, 4B, 4C are all on the first floor. So before that, kindly join us for a cup of tea, and I thank each one of you for being here today. Thank you so much.